Hi, my name is Raymond Moore, and I would like to tell you about a book I've written entitled Evidence of Grace, The Imperfect Journey to Perfection. With many thanks to Destiny Image Publishers, I truly believe this book is for such a time as ours. One of the main emphasis of my book is that God uses all kinds of people. Some of the greatest heroes and legends of the Bible were people who sinned miserably. Many of them, if they were alive today and were to do some of the things they did in Bible days, would probably end up spending the rest of their lives in prison. Interestingly enough, these were some of the same people who were used mightily of God. The troubling part about this, though, is that many people hear about these Bible heroes and think they were so perfect, faithful, and had it all together in order for God to have used them the way He did. Some of these people believe their sins are beyond the grace of God, that God won't forgive them because they've messed up too much and are unworthy of His forgiveness and love. However, should they take a closer look at some of the famous Bible legends we all admire, they'll see that they themselves are no less unworthy than some of the saints who God forgave and used. A matter of fact, some of the Bible heroes sinned even more outrageously than many of those who consider themselves so unworthy. The purpose of this book is not to expose the sins of the saints, which in fact are already recorded in the scriptures, but rather to further expose the evidence of God's grace. The grace of God is not merely the grace that saves us, but just as important, the grace that keeps us. In this book, believers are encouraged to pursue the restoration of fallen brethren, albeit through restorative justice, and not to write them off because God hasn't. Galatians 6 verse 1 says, "Brethren, if a man be overtaken in any trespass, you who are spiritual should restore such a one in the spirit of gentleness, considering yourself, lest you also be tempted." This book is a synopsis of my life, while taking you on a journey throughout the Bible in a unique setting where you will witness grace, its application and relevance back then as well as for today. My book does not stress on the David who killed Goliath, for example, but on the David who sinned. Why? Well, not all of us have conquered the giants in our lives and can relate to celebrations of victory, but we have all sinned, made mistakes and bad choices, and can relate to pain, hurt, shame, even guilt. Henceforth, I believe everyone will be able to relate to this book, from the pastor to the drug dealer, the prostitute, and the murderer. I'm convinced that regardless if you've been in the church all your life, or if you've never even set foot inside a church, or as much as hold the Bible in your hand, this book is clear-cut and relevant to you. Be sure to get a copy for yourself and maybe even for a friend as early as spring of 2011. This evidence of grace may very well be a case and a life changer for you and someone you know. God bless you.